They're a nice beginning step, I think, into going live and letting people see your face.
Welcome, Ashanti, to my YouTube channel. And Ashanti runs a business called Nourish with Ashanti. Ashanti is a business strategist, a speaker and mentor, and her background is in finance, marketing and food. Ashanti left her corporate career to run her own business with just an old laptop, a Wi-Fi and pure grit. Ashanti frequently gives talks about business as a talented writer, and she hosts a successful podcast show called the Women in Food Podcast Show. Ashanti is enormously respected and talented business driver, and I'm delighted that she's been able to free up time in her schedule to speak to us today. And I mean all of that, Ashanti. Thank you very much.
No, thanks for having me. It's good. No, I'm chuffed to be here on the YouTube channel. So great. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. So, before now, I know one of your signature talks is about using live video marketing as a strategy in your business. But before we get into maybe giving us and sharing with the viewers some tips about that, can you share what your personal journey has been into your battle to get in front of the lens and to start creating your own video content?
Absolutely. I mean, Justine, when you first met me, I wasn't doing a lot of live video marketing. So I had managed to blog, I had the podcast show, and I'd just about gotten used to hearing my own voice being recorded. But one of the things that I had to do was I was just really trying to help people grow their business. So I used to research all of the latest and the new kind of strategies you could use. And I was seeing that more and more people were using live video marketing. And of course, I wanted to kind of set a good example and lead by example and be able to say, hey, this is how you do it. This works, this doesn't. But the problem was that prior to actually starting my business, I had no social media. And in my personal life, I had no photos, no voluntary photos after the age of 11. All I had was work ID. If you're in London, we've got what we call Oyster cards. So when you're a student, there's usually photographic kind of evidence of who you are on it. So I only had the absolute must in terms of visual capture of myself and what I look like. And so for me, the thought of going on video was, I felt like maybe I could get away with not doing it. And in the end, though, even I succumbed because all of the research I was doing and I was seeing the results that other people were having from it. And I also understood that from doing the podcast show, people would say to me, love to hear you talk, you should do more videos. So it all kind of pushed me into this space where I had to face up to the fact that I needed to be more visible in the business and let people see my face and not just hear my voice. So it was a bit of a journey to get there. And you ran a challenge, for example, in your Facebook group, and I participated in that challenge, and that helped me. Those things helped me to just get into a routine and become more comfortable with being on camera.
Yes, I remember you then really took that and ran with it and then started doing live Facebooks every day, and not just a hi everyone, but long actual content.
Yes.
Filled lives. And do you think it was that that then got you more work? Because you do quite a lot of talking now as well, don't you? Did that help you?
Yeah. So this is the thing. I'm all about kind of joined up time-saving strategies in business. And that's why live video is excellent, because you do get to demonstrate how you communicate with people. So it's not just the actual content you're sharing. You can show your style of communication. People get to know you much quicker when they can actually see your face. And the thing with live video is they can actually ask you questions on the broadcast. So you have to kind of interact. So that really helped me in terms of being able to evidence a portfolio when I really wanted to begin to get paid speaking engagements, as opposed to just being asked to be on panels and contribute for free.
And so now you are actually getting paid work.
Yes. And a lot and the portfolio, in inverted commas, that did come from all my live video. And that's why I always talk to people about using either YouTube, which I'm yet to really exploit, but more so on my Facebook business page. That's where I started putting those live videos, because you can literally just direct people to them and they can really see in real life how you interact with people and what you're like to actually speak in front of people.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's really good. Yeah. And so how, So can you share a bit about that? Because I know you have several topics in particular that you talk about. But one of
Yes.
them is the how to use live
Live video.
marketing
Yeah.
in your business. What are the things that you share with your audiences?
Yeah, so apart from the fact that it is very easy from a technical point of view, which is also why I like live video, because editing videos is not my strong point. And the thing about live video is I don't have to worry about the editing process. You just have to go with it once you press go live. So that is the first thing. From a technical point of view, it's really low entry to get started. But some of the main things are not to worry about, for example, who is on the stream. So you can put a lot of work into getting people to actually turn up live, and you should do that. But I think where the power really is, it is in the replays. I believe it's up to 70% of the views come after the actual live broadcast. And so encouraging people not really to worry about how many people are on live and maybe interacting with you or not. You've still got to kind of commit, go through, deliver the content as naturally and, you know, energy filled as you can. And then it's the replays. And then if you're interested in doing things like running Facebook ads to your lives, it's fantastic. Again, most of the views will come after.
Yes, that's it. I think that's the
yeah.
mistake I think a lot of people make, is when they feel discouraged, or they kind of are waiting around before they actually get into the content, waiting for people to join. And like you said, actually when you do a live, you need to be, you're mentally in the space thinking, I'm doing this for the people who are going to watch on the replay.
Absolutely.
And will they enjoy this content?
Absolutely.
That's it.
And and then the other thing is, sorry, Justin.
No, go ahead.
Just picking up on what you actually said, the people who are watching. So kind of understanding that it doesn't matter how many people are on live, you still have this kind of responsibility to serve people who will watch at a later time.
I know one of the other styles of video that I see you do quite often as well are slide deck videos.
Yeah.
So where are you using those in your business?
So that's interesting. So there's two ways I've been doing that. One is the recorded type, which is what I put on my YouTube channel. And the other is those live screen shares. So Facebook introduced this fantastic, feature where you can now screen share. So people don't have to look at my face, which means some days if I'm not in the mood to be seen, and I just prepare some type of slide, and then I can go live so people can still talk to me. I can still see the comments, I can still interact, but I can share my screen. And usually I'll share, as I said, a pre-prepared slide, or there might be something online that I think, let me show them what to do. So those are really, really good as well. They're a nice beginning step, I think, into going live and letting people see your face.
Yeah, I think that's a really good tip, because that's it. We don't all, like you say, even that you might have days where you just don't want to be in front of camera, especially if you're managing to schedule your Facebook lives or your YouTube lives, because you can do live on YouTube also. Then you've got that option to not be actually in front of camera. Or if you're really camera shy, like you said, it's a good way to ease yourself into that. So would you say maybe some of the tips you might give someone who is feeling really worried and having a real mental block about being in front of the camera, being on screen?
So I think, first of all, participating in a group that you are known within, that you've contributed in, like when you ran and you still run the Facebook Live challenges, I think that's really good, because you're going live in places where people already know you, they like you, they respect you, and everyone's participating in the challenge. So I'd say find a way to practice in a comfortable setting. By coming into a group like yours and participating in the challenge. You can even set up your own group on Facebook and set it up as a private or a closed group and go live in there and practice. Nobody will see the live, but it gets you in that habit of how you maybe adjust your mic, how you look into the camera, all of those kind of things. And the third thing is just to be natural, because when I look into the lens now, I actually do imagine a real person, because I know what content I'm delivering. I usually have someone specific in mind, in fact, when I've crafted the content in the first place. And so I really just think about that person and helping them understand the point that I'm making.
Yeah, that's really good. And I think it's like, as you've experienced, once you get over doing the first one or two, then it starts to become a bit less intimidating, and you get over that initial, how do I actually do it so I don't look like a fool? What am I pressing? And doing that in a safe place.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
it's really important.
It is, and that's brilliant. So I'll ask you next. What would, so look, going back to what you're doing now in your business, what would you say would have been the biggest changes since you've started, the biggest benefits to everything you're doing since you've been creating your own videos? And then can you tell us a bit about what you're planning to do in next year? Because I know I've seen your business go through some real changes this last year, which is fascinating to watch. It's always an enjoyable thing, because then you kind of like see a new version of you in this instance. And trying out new things. And so what's bit worked for you this year, and what are you going to plan? Are you planning to go through and to
next year?
Spread your wings on for next year.
Good question. So the first thing is this. So number one, if you're looking to kind of build that deeper connection with a community or an audience or a following, the live video is fantastic. And I've noticed, so for example, now more people actually message me privately. Okay, so the leads that I'm generating from live video are really good. And when they come through, they're strong leads. So you're not getting people messaging you who are not sure about whether they want to work with you. Actually, they're pretty sure they want to work with you. They just want to know how you can help them.
And where are you putting your lives?
Videos?
In your group?
So, good question. So at the moment, I use Facebook mainly. So I've got a Facebook group and I've got my Facebook business page. So those are the two places that I usually put those videos. I'll go live in the group or go live usually on my business page and share to the group. Okay, so that's the main place I'm using right now, and that's where the private messages will come through. So a bit of a point to remember as well is a lot of times people watch your video, but they don't always comment or like. That does not mean that they've not watched. So again, when I get these private messages, when people are at a point where they want to work with me, usually they've watched all the videos, and they will tell me that in the call. They'll say, I watched all the videos. I've never seen them comment or like on these videos. Okay. And that's why you really got to keep that in mind and not worry about who's watching live and who's actually commented and liked. So what I'd say is the lead generation is much more relevant, and it's a firm lead. Okay, so really at that point we're having a conversation about how I can help them. So if you're looking really to speed up and deepen the connections that you have with people and the people who want to work with you, that's why live video has really changed a lot of things for me in 2017. And the funny thing is, what I tend to do is download the video from Facebook. It then gives me the option to either upload it to YouTube as a recorded video, but I also put them on LinkedIn now. I've really started putting videos on LinkedIn, seeing as now it's easier to upload a video to LinkedIn. And I've been getting a lot of good reception from that as well. And then I'll tweet about a video, and then I'll put the URL from the video from Facebook on as well. So I'd say the lead generation was the biggest benefit and change that I saw in my business. And for me, there aren't other food business consultants or agency owners who are going out live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and things like that. So automatically I was just standing out because I was talking about kind of either a case study or a question that someone had asked me privately. I'd anonymize the scenario and I'd go live and talk about it. So lead generation and visibility, those are the two biggest things from doing live video on Facebook mainly that were good things that came out of it.
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned LinkedIn as well, because LinkedIn have the facility that you can upload native video. You don't have to just share links. And because of that, they're actually prioritizing the same way that Facebook is prioritizing video and live video over regular video. LinkedIn are doing exactly the same thing. So any native, not link, natively uploaded video is getting a really good response. Getting seen as well.
And then the other thing that changed, so that was live video. And, you know, the funny thing is people, I did take a break from doing live video, and that wasn't deliberately. And this is actually a reason why you have to be regular with it, as you know, because what happens if you missed one or two, you can get out of the habit of doing it quite easily. But then I'd get people messaging me and saying, you know, aren't you doing the lives anymore? And again, these are people that I did not know were watching. So it's a really good way to make a connection with an audience over a period of time. And as I say, mix it up. Sometimes I do the ones where people can actually see my face, and other times I'll screen share. So that was something, it really helped in that regard. The other thing I'd say, which is a big thing, I managed to secure a very big contract, probably the biggest contract I've been able to secure since being in business for 2 years, from using video. Now,
Wow.
what I did with that one, though, is it wasn't a live video, but it was a video competitor analysis case study. So I had a client in the food business who wanted to put on a large business conference. And what I did was I just merely showed them what I do for clients, usually behind closed doors, but on video. So I screen shared, and I took them through their competitors, and I, you know, pointed out the things they were doing very well, and pointed out the things that they weren't doing so well that this potential client should think about. And I recorded it, and then I put it on my YouTube channel. And that's how I secured one of the biggest contracts I've ever secured, from using video. So it was just being a bit more creative, because sometimes these are things you do in conversation with a client, or you might send over a PDF proposal. But doing the video where they could hear my voice, and obviously they saw the cursor moving on the screen, they could see their competitors, I could highlight certain things, that really was a game changer. So now video proposals and video case studies are just a part of the prospecting process for me.
Wow, that's great. And there are some softwares now where you can make proposals through video that I've seen.
Yes, yes, yeah. So, and all this stuff is free. I haven't spent any money. I use just free, you know, recording software and screen share stuff to bring these videos together, put them up, and then promote them.
So what are your favourite video bits of kit or technology or software?
Yeah. So Zoom is a big one, because obviously it allows you to record even the other side. So if you're speaking to someone like you and I, or I'm just recording the screen, and it's pretty easy to download the video, then go back and edit it. So I use Zoom a lot. The other one obviously is Facebook Live, also Be Live. So I've researched a lot of things that I can use, but Be Live is very good because obviously you can kind of up level the polish and the look of the video. So it can look like a TV show. You can have your lower third. You can upload a logo. So that is something that I've researched in depth that I can use in 2018 when I start doing split screen interviews, things like that, when I'm going live. And the other one I've looked at is OBS Studio. So I've got a few tricks up my sleeve for 2018 in terms of multi-channel streaming. So I want to be able to stream to 3 or 4 places at the same time, instead of just being able to stream on Facebook and then having to download and upload to another platform. So the idea is in 2018, every time I go live, to just multi-channel stream in the first place, with the branding, your lower thirds, your logo in place. And so I'm getting that maximum return without having to use more time repurposing later on down the line.
That's brilliant. Yeah, no, that's I think we'll say a lot more of that, because all the social media platforms are now, you can do pretty much live on everything. So it's and everyone wants more of it. So tell me more about what we can expect to see from you next year.
Yeah, sure. So 2018, so that's an interesting, I am going to be trying to leverage YouTube more than I haven't done now. So I want to actually build a community on YouTube, build the subscribers, and the content though for that is going to be quite interesting, because as you said, that I have evolved as a business. So for me, the food business consultancy is still something I do, but I actually do it under a separate brand. And there were quite a few reasons for that. Whereas the Nourish with Ashanti was very much a kind of business strategy kind of focused platform. Because what I tend to find is that the more visible you get, people ask you questions that have nothing to do with what you're actually talking about. And I needed to find a way to bring that community together, be able to just share what it is I know, some insights and tips. And that's why that YouTube channel in 2018 will be so important, because all of that content is basically just free business advice and help. And it's not necessarily about the food business, which, as you know, is quite niche.
And the exciting thing about once you start doing that, of course, is that YouTube is searchable, which is the biggest difference in YouTube and all the other platforms around video. Is that, it's great to raise the awareness and to get the attention from people on your videos on the other platforms, but once it's there, unless the person knows to go and look, they won't find it. But with YouTube,
they won't find you.
YouTube, they put that search in and they'll be able to then find you and then network out onto all of your other platforms.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so a lot of the kind of call to action research, a lot of the SEO strategies that I've learned, that I've used in blogging and live video, I'm going to obviously be moving over onto that YouTube channel, so that there are clear call to actions. There's, kind of a really firm lead generation strategy there. And so that's really where I want to go with it. And as you say, YouTube is searchable, and also it's more global. So globally, people are using YouTube without really realizing what they're doing, whereas not everybody's on Twitter, not everybody's on LinkedIn. YouTube is one of those places that people are going to be working and playing in. So they're on it for social reasons, as well as maybe they're looking at a tutorial on how to do an origami, So there's just so much more scope to be found and to build audience on YouTube.
Absolutely. I agree. Preaching to the converted. So before I let you go, is there anything that you would like have you got anything that you're promoting at the moment that you'd like to share with the audience that are viewing this video?
Well, no, the main thing is just to come over onto the channel and see what stuff is there. As I say, this is really, as you've seen how things have changed for me in creating a space where people can ask me anything they want to ask me about business in general, and that's really what the channel is about. It's kind of laid back, there's no real pressure, and so if you're interested in finding out how you can literally go from having zero in your bank account to creating some type of skill or talent that you can monetize, then that's probably the channel that you want to come and find me on.
And it's Ashanti, it's nourishwithashanti.com.
Yes. Yeah.
And, which is nice and easy to remember, and all of your socials are easily found on the website, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And another quick tip, actually, and that's something that I've done, is, if you do decide to do video, is to get your own domain. So, and a lot of people are forgetting this. You can actually get a .live domain as well. And it's a good suggestion, even if you're not going to use it now, to go and secure your name, particularly if you want your name. It's a good idea to go and get your .live domain, and then you can get a .com domain and you can redirect it. So for example, our Facebook business page, I have a specific vanity URL for that Facebook business page, and I will do the same for YouTube. So I'll just create a domain that is specifically for YouTube. So then people don't have to even search you in YouTube unless they want to. You can actually say, I don't know, it could be ashanti.nourish.com. That would take them directly to your YouTube page. So it's those little hacks that really do help overall.
No, that's great, and you are full of wise words. I'll make sure in the description we put a link to that, because I haven't done that. I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Always still something to learn. Oh, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you coming and chatting with us, and it's been really interesting to hear about your journey and your advice on using live, which I have to say is something that I need to do more of myself as well. So thank you very much. And I would say to our viewers to go over and find your YouTube channel is linked from your website, and go on and subscribe and watch what comes up over the next year, because there's going to be a ton more content coming out on your YouTube channel. And if the viewers haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, please go ahead and subscribe so you can hear more interviews like this one with Ashanti. And I'd love to hear your experience of using Facebook Lives, or how you're repurposing your videos across all the other social platforms. So say something to us in the comments below, and we'll see you all again soon. Thanks, bye.